Sometimes, yeah, you're going to feel some pain. You're going to feel some discomfort. It's not going to feel good. You're going to get frustrated, but you got to go through it to get through it.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
What we're going to be talking about today is how to solve problems. And the only way to solve problems is to think from the next level of your consciousness. And there's this quote by Albert Einstein, a great quote. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, "You cannot solve problems from the same level that the problems were created." And basically what he was getting at is, and what he was referring to is, and maybe not in all situations, but a lot of situations, 90% of the time, we're creating problems, or problems exist because of the level of thinking that we're thinking at. And the point of all of this is, if we can create problems just by our level of thinking, we can also solve problems from our level of thinking. But it does take a little bit of work, and it does take being aware and moving to the next level of consciousness to be able to solve the problems that exist right now. And if we're really honest with ourselves, most of our problems are existing because of our type of thinking, that's stinking thinking. And so as you accept this this situation, or these ideas and these concepts, that's when you start to move to that higher level of consciousness, or that higher level of awareness. And while you're moving through this process, I need you to, and I want you to be kind to yourself. This is not the time to take a couple steps back and to fall into stinking thinking, to bring shame and guilt on yourself, because that's also not self-love. And you need to love yourself, because had you known better, you would have done better. And you have to believe that you are human and you are living a human existence. And so being human means that you're going to make mistakes, but mistakes happen to help you move to your next level. And it's all about how you perceive things. It's all about your perspective of things. So we're never, ever going to play victim. That's not what high level people do. High level people don't play victim. There is no shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because had you known, you would have done it. Had you could have done anything different, you would have also done it. But in that moment and in that time, you felt like whatever decision or whatever thoughts that you were thinking were the correct thoughts for that particular situation. And again, it's about changing your perspective. So all you need to do is take the lesson from that and allow life to be, and let it unfold how it's going to unfold. See, as you're moving through life and you're continuing to move forward, all you have left is that present moment, and everything else is in the past. So you have to surrender the past, because there's nothing you could have done anyway. There's nothing you can do about the past. You need to let it go. And I don't care who you let it go to, who you serve. Let go, let God. Let go, surrender it to the universe. Let go, surrender it to a higher self. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to surrender that concept of indiscretion within yourself. And the best way to do that is to change your awareness of the situation, therefore changing your perspective. So really, how do you do this? First, I need you to take your hands off of this situation. You're too close to the fire. People used to say back in the day, if you put your hand on a hot stove, you will get burnt. You only have to do that one time, right? So sometimes you just got to take your hands off of the situation. Stop burning yourself. And you always looking back, you're continuing to burn yourself. You continue to bring your past into your future, and you can never move forward if you continue to look backwards. And you can only control what you can control. So 2, control what you can control. This is a very stoic concept in ideology. And the Stoics got it right. You have to find out and you have to know what is it that you can control and what is it that you cannot control. It's a very simple concept, but most people don't get it right. And what you find out as you sit in silence and you start to meditate and reflect on these things, there's not much that you do control. The only thing that you can control is the mind, your mind. You can't change anybody. You can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. The only things that you can do is train yourself to respond how you want to respond. And 3, take a different approach. Don't keep beating your head against a wall. If it didn't work, then it's probably not going to work again. So just take a different approach. Instead of trying to go through it, go around it. The whole idea of repentance is to turn and go the other way. And in some ways, the Christians got it right. You know, when you make a mistake or you have some mishap in your life, all you need to do is turn and go the other way. Don't force it, because that's not going to help you either. Sometimes you just have to allow it to be, allow it to unfold how it's going to unfold, because you're always thinking ahead of every situation. And so what you're thinking of is what's going to be manifested into your life. And sometimes there's a delay. So just because you change your level of thinking doesn't mean that it's going to change the situation in that moment. So sometimes you got to persist in how you go about thinking about things. So in this process, yes, you're going to move through some things that are going to be difficult and challenging. We call those lower vibrations, and that's okay. Just don't get stuck there. Don't identify with the lower vibrations. Sometimes, yeah, you're going to feel some pain. You're going to feel some discomfort. It's not going to feel good. You're going to get frustrated, but you got to go through it to get through it. And if you're not willing to persist through some of those discouraging moments, how can you have a perspective about the other side? Because there is 2 sides of the same coin, and that's duality. You need a reference point, right? So how do you know what's good if you didn't first understand and know what was bad? And how did you know what was up if you didn't first understand what was down? So there has to be a reference point. That's how life works. And when you try to force things, what you're telling the universe is that you have no trust that everything is going to work out in your favor. And nobody wants to feel that. Nobody wants to go through that. Nobody wants to go through life with mistrust in their life, because it's always working out for your betterment. And you have to believe that in your heart. How many times have you gone through a situation that looked very grim and you didn't see the light of day and you didn't know how it was going to work out, and all you could do was just let go. How did that work out for you? In many ways, and in many times, when you just released it, what you were fearful of, what you thought was going to happen, the things that you were ruminating on, they never happened. And a lot of times it all worked out and worked out perfectly. Of course, you don't know in the moment how it's going to work out, but you got to keep moving forward. And it's only when you move forward and you look back that you can connect the dots. Looking backwards, you can't connect the dots necessarily going forward. And you definitely can't see it in the moment because you're right there in the moment. It's only when you cross that bridge and you look back across the bridge do you see how far you came. Understand that. Believe that, accept that. So there's this quote from Yoda. It says, "No, try not. Do or do not. There is no try." And what he's saying is, you're either going to do it or you're not. There's no place in being lukewarm in this process. If you're lukewarm, you get nowhere, you get stagnant. You have to make a decision about what you want to do. Are you going to stay in one place? Or are you going to keep moving ahead, forging a way forward? Believe me in this situation when I say this. Creation is already done. Every variation, every situation, every outcome has already been worked out. And this is why it's important for you just to make a decision, because that's what defines your path, your track in which the outcome can unfold the way you possibly have seen it. And this is called a bridge of incidents. You are not in control of the bridge of incidents. The only thing that you can control is your perspective while moving through the bridge or moving across the bridge. And while you're moving through the bridge, you practice, you visualize, you think, you work on, you become, and you be the person that you want to be. And this is not about faking it till you make it. This is not about, putting on a facade and not being authentic to yourself. If you be it, the universe has to respond by making you or giving you that. So how do you do that? You release the outcome. Completely let go of how you want it to happen. Just focus on, and I'm driving this home, focus on what you want. Focus on what you want to become, who you want to be. Release it. Be okay with the outcome, however it shakes out. And as you let go of that old version of yourself, that's when you can see the newer version come forth. And yeah, there's going to be some negative things that come up, and that's okay. Ignore it. Give it no energy. It's only when you give things your energy and you're focused in on the things that you don't want, those are the things that manifest. And just like you can manifest good, you can also manifest the bad. So why not just put your energy into things that you want to see? Why not give yourself the benefit of the doubt? Why not you just test this for yourself? And these are the tests and the trials and tribulations that are going to come your way. And it's only till you pass the test will you get to the other side. So you have to pass the test. And just like you were to take a test in school, they're giving you materials for you to study. And only when you pass the test that's given to show that you knew the material, that's when you can move to the next grade. That's how you solve problems in your life. Study the material and move to the next grade. And each level has its own test. That's how you know you're moving into the next level. So sometimes we want to skate through life and we think that we're not going to get tried. But the trials come to push you out of your comfort zone. The trials come to usher you into a new version. This is how you solve problems. And this is how you get to the next level of consciousness. My name is Prince Williams, the real Prince Williams. Thank you for tuning in.